Ladies and gentlemen, let us turn to the last topic of this module, Russian economic relations with Eurasian Economic Union. In fact, relations with the former Soviet republics has been a top priority for Russia since collapse of the Soviet Union for a number of reasons: common past, common economic challenges, including relatively low competitiveness of goods and services produced by former Soviet Union on foreign markets, and substantial complementarities eventually paved the way to idea of catching up developed countries together through advanced form of integration, the Eurasian Economic Union. Having suffered a setback in Europe, Russia might make a comeback to the position of an equal partner, being a leader of Eurasian Economic Union. Further development of regional integration may include a deep and comprehensive free trade area between the EU and Eurasian Union. Economically, such arrangement would represent a huge step forward by removing barriers to trade in goods and services, improving the management of intellectual property and mobility of labor and capital, and eventually bringing together the EU and matured post-Soviet space led by Russia. The year 2012 was a turning point in integration trends in the post-Soviet space. The Belarus-Kazakhstan-Russia customs union expanded into a single economic space, bringing into action a set of 17 agreements ranging from the coordination of macroeconomic and fiscal policies to labor migration, energy, and technical regulation. The CE's key goal was to promote four basic economic freedoms: the free movement of goods, capital, services, and people. The Eurasian Economic Commission, a supranational body with extensive powers, has been set up to facilitate the efficient operation of single economic space, with appointed commissioners in charge of each functional dimension of integration. Regional integration resulted in creation in 2015 of the Eurasian Economic Union. The customs union was the first major systemic integration initiative to make it as far as the implementation stage. Importantly, the Eurasian Economic Commission also came to represent the first truly supranational institution in the region's 20 years of post-Soviet reintegration attempts. The economic rationale for Russia's activism in the post-Soviet space lays in a very simple fact that in this region, Russia's manufactured goods are much more competitive than in the markets of developed states. While only 3% of Russian manufactured goods can compete in North America and 5% in Europe, CIS markets represent a sort of wonderland for a wide variety of civilian and military manufacturers. The single economic space of Russia, Belarus, and Kazakhstan promoted Russia's competitiveness, especially in manufacturing. It also gave a chance to cultivate more demand abroad. Finally, single economic space institutions allowed systematically collect information on the full range of activities that other member states are undertaking to promote their exports. The Eurasian Economic Union is an international organization for regional economic integration. It provides for free movements of goods, services, capital, and labor, pursues coordinated, harmonized, and single policy in the sectors determined by the treaty and international agreements within the Union. The members states of the Eurasian Economic Union are the Republic of Armenia, the Republic of Belarus, the Republic of Kazakhstan, the Kyrgyz Republic, and the Russian Federation. Russian political elite does believe that Eurasian Economic Union natural resources, capital, and potent reserve of human resources will combine to put the Eurasian Union in a strong competitive position in the industry and technology race, in the struggle for investors, for creation of new jobs, and the establishment of cutting-edge facilities, alongside other key players and regional structures such as the European Union, the United States, China, and the PEC. Eurasian Union will help ensure global sustainable development. There are huge asymmetries within Eurasian Economic Union in terms of population size, GDP, and foreign trade turnover in favor of Russia. Small economies should gain substantially from getting access to large Russian markets, but here is also a dominance of a regional leader. Next slides provide four main expectations of member states when they joined Eurasian Economic Union. Russia is a big market, and that can be attractive, but neighboring countries see risks as well as rewards in bilateral trade with the country. In particular, Belarus was looking for unlimited access to Russia's cheap oil and gas without export duties on Belarusian border, better conditions for Belarusian industrial agricultural goods at Russian markets, and easier WTO accession. Kazakhstan, in turn, hoped for free, cheaper transit to and from Europe, for balancing the growing role of China. Russia was looking for stronger global influence. It's also nostalgic compensation for the loss of the USSR. And Eurasian Economic Union is a kind of substitute. But even if all potential members joined and worked together, their combined economic capabilities would still be relatively small. Next slide sheds a light of expectations of Armenia, whose interests are basically twofold. First, Armenia is interested in guaranteeing its national security for the conflict with Azerbaijan. Secondly, Yerevan is willing to get investments and financial support. But cost of membership is also substantial. It deals with growth of consumer goods prices due to rising of import tariffs. There is also a big problem, an absence of common border with other member states, which is basically unique for customs unions. As Kyrgyzstan's expectations and costs related to its membership in the Union is concerned, we see the following. Kyrgyzstan's main interest was in getting investments and financial support, primarily from Russia and Kazakhstan. Also, it wants to protect migrant workers in Russia and Kazakhstan. Costs of membership is similar with Armenia and deals with growth of consumer goods prices due to rising of import tariffs. And of course, there is a problem in Kyrgyzstan due to weak border control. Results of Eurasian Union are quite mixed. Though customs union norms were elaborated in accordance with WTO rules, and thanks to existence of customs union, Belarus and Kazakhstan decreased their import tariffs because customs union common external tariff made it to do so, together with Russia's, in accordance with Russia's WTO obligations. Kazakhstan had the lowest level of import duties, 7% on average, compared to Russia and Belarus, 11 to 12, and increased them to match the common external tariff. Import from the third countries, mainly from China, became much more costly for Kazakhstan, and consumers in eastern provinces of this country suffer most. Expectations of Belarus on getting unlimited access to Russia's cheap oil and gas also failed, as Russia replaced export taxes on hydrocarbons by mineral extraction tax. Russian leadership is very cautious to avoid accusations for so-called attempts to revive the Soviet Union. The concept of itself of Eurasian Union has grown from call for close integration based on new values and new political and economic foundations. Moreover, Russian leaders made it clear that it was then President Nursultan Nazarbayev of Kazakhstan who for many long years had been talking about passiveness of other CIS states in the area of deeper and speedy integration. Vladimir Putin also made it clear that Russia does not want to recreate the Soviet Union. In one of his interviews, he said, "The collapse of the Soviet Union was the greatest geopolitical catastrophe of the century." People in Russia say that those who do not regret the collapse of the Soviet Union have no heart, and those who want it restored have no brain.